Hey y'all, welcome back to L&L Honeycomb Homestead. I said I wasn't going nowhere. It's just the same day, different day. But I am still pulling these weeds out. I'm going to continue to pull all these weeds out until the beds are nice and clear of weeds. Okay? And in the last segment, I said I was going to be putting more seeds in. Yeah, I'm going to be putting more seeds in because I think I have pulled some weeds out, but that's okay. That's okay. It's a cool crop. I could grow it again. I could grow it again. But my whole determination is to get these weeds up out of these beds. So I'm going to quit talking and we got to keep going to get these weeds out. All right. So stay tuned for it. Okay, y'all. So it is now noon and I got a lot of stuff done. And I'm going to take you around so you can see exactly what I have done out here. And I will be putting some more straw down in between the beds and making sure that there's no more weeds coming in. But as you know, it probably will be. But I'm going to put a lot more than what I had before because I didn't have enough at that time. So I'm going to take you around. I'm like in 2 beds and I should be done today by getting this hay and stuff in, and that way I can pick you back up. So I'm gonna take you around and talk about what I've done and what the plan is. So as you can see, I have started in these beds this morning and I was getting all the weeds and stuff up out of here, and I'm gonna go back in and put some more hay in, and you can see how everything has grown after I had to pull all these weeds out. So I got the watermelon, the baby melons, and the sugar baby melons, the cantaloupes, and all that is clear of weeds. And I'm going to go back in and put the straw in the beds. Okay? So that way it can be good and fluff and retain that moisture that's inside of the beds. So that's the rings with the fruit in it. And I'm so glad I was able to finish that. This other part right here, it might look like it's disturbed, but it's not. How things are falling over, I just got to clip these onion tops so that way they won't be leaning. but I was able to get all the weeds out from under there. You can actually see the cauliflower in here and stuff in here now, and I'm so pleased about that. The cabbage, I still got this cup on here. It was small, but I was able to get the weeds all the way from around there and get that cleaned up as well. I even hit these tomatoes. I was able to get the weeds out from behind there and around it, and behind the backdrop behind the beans. I was able to get all those weeds out from under there, and I was able to get the weeds away from this tomato plant here and smooth it out. And I'm going to put something on top of that, go back and put something on top of that as well, and did that as well. As we go on down, same here, and got all the weeds up from behind there as well. And right here, I'm going to put another cup on top of here, so this tomato plant can continue on thriving, just like this one, this one, this one. And the cucumbers, I was able to get all the weeds out from behind the cucumbers as well, and that was all up in here too, and get all that up and get it all cleaned out, which I did, and got all of that done. So I'm going to lay all this stuff back down, the straw, and get it to make it looking nice and manicured. Okay, so now as far as the stakes, I was able to get these corn stalks straightened up. I put these sticks in here so that way they can kind of lean up on these sticks, and I'm going to put some string around it so they can kind of hold it up a little bit. And I went all the way down with these sticks with this corn, and so I got all of the bed cleaned out, clear of weeds, and I'm gonna go back in with the straw. So I'm gonna give you a better shot and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I got it all cleaned out and everything is looking good. Everything is looking good. Very pleased. And I also cleaned inside the cinder blocks. Got all the weeds up out of that. And I'm going to take you over this way so you can see what I'm talking about. Got all that. I'm going to pull it back some. It's probably too close. Yeah. So I was able to get all that cleaned up. All the way down and behind the cinder blocks. Down this, so you can see, got it good and clean. Got it good and clean. Worked in the pepper bed, the bell pepper and the hot pepper bed. I got all the weeds out of that as well. Got it good and cleaned up. The areas that you see these little round circles are, is where the peppers were that I had put in as far as seed. And when they were real tiny, I cleared that and cleared all the weeds out of that. And I'm going to put the cups back on there so that way they can continue to thrive like they are doing. And I got all the weeds up out of the cinder blocks as well, so the pepper plants and everything can grow really good in there. The cabbage is doing pretty good in the cinder blocks as well. If you remember, I put them in there. Also, this is marigolds, but I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. It's looking kind of tacky to me, but yeah. And so I came back and I had to harvest some more onion tops. So everything is looking uniformed, weed-free from here. And also, as we're going down, you can see that I had cleaned up all the rest of the weeds that was around the peas as well. And then as we come on up to the top, I'm going to bring y'all a little closer so you can see. I also cleaned up the weeds. And where I had moved back some of that and cleaned all around there, those are peppers, hot peppers. So I will be putting cups on these as well. And I done cleaned all the weeds up from the bell peppers and the hot peppers. The sun is now coming out. It's noon. And so I will be picking up with y'all with this tomorrow, but I got more to show you on what I was able to accomplish. Remember, I had planted some corn in these tires. Okay, I went into each tire bed and cleaned out the weeds in each one of these tire beds and free it from messing with the corn. And yeah, I got all them done too. And I gotta make sure I fix this corn plant as well. It's leaning, but I'm gonna get that up too. I also went around the green bean bed, got all the weeds up out of there, and so it picked itself up while we was off camera. It really did. It was leaning too. And I picked up the weeds around this bean plant, and I cleaned up all the weeds off this bean plant area. Also behind me in this green bean plant area. And then as we come up to the front, here's the squash. You can get a better view of the squash. Bring you back so you can see that. The squash is looking good. And also I cleaned it here too. What I'm lacking now is this bed here. I'm gonna get it all good and clean. There's some more squash in here. There's more onions in here. There's rutabaga in here. There's also some, what's that? Bok choy and marigolds that's growing right here. But I'm gonna get all the weeds up out of this bed as well. And out of the cinder blocks. And get it good and manicured. So that way you can be able to see the vegetables in this bed as well too. And last but not least, I've got this bed here too that I had started on it. And I got all the weeds up out of the cinder blocks, as you can see. And I have spinach, beets, carrots in this bed as well. So this right here is a task for real. And I'm going to put some more seeds off in this bed. But I do got to get these, weeds out of here. So if I end up pulling some food out of here, then I can just replace it. But I do have some spinach in here and carrots in here. I do know what's what, but everything is so close together. I did space it out, but I will be putting some more seeds in here, so it's gonna be okay. So I'm gonna have that bed cleaned out as well too. So as I come over into this bed with, I have my grow bags. As you can see, everything is thriving. I had put that tool over it. As you can see the difference in it. And everything is looking good. It's the cauliflower and the cabbage. And then that one bed that was right here, this had the blues, y'all. It was just suffering. But I have one more. One more cabbage to put in here. One more. So we're going to, one more time. So I'm going to put that in there so that one can start growing. And I'm going to take that out of the container and put that in there and see how that goes. But I tried to baby it, but it just did not do. But I have one more to put in there. So everything is looking good. And I'm just very grateful how everything turned out over here in the grow bag station over here. Behind me, I had the squash, some more squash, and I had put some in this container here, this little pot, flower pot. I put me some squash in here, and as y'all remember, I had some squash and I had put some off in here. And then I had put some also in another pot right here, and it's doing well too. And I'll be giving it a good cleaning, getting the weeds up out of there As you can see, there's some that's trying to grow off in there, and I'm going to get that out. And I thought about putting something in there for it to vine on as well, or just give it some kind of support while it's sitting there. So that's the squash beds, part of the squash beds. That's more squash. Now, like I said, it is now noon. I done did everything I needed to do because the sun is going to be beaming and it's going to be some more rain. I'm going to be coming back in these beds before it do start to pour down, and go ahead and put this straw in the beds, get it out of the way, so that way it can get saturated as well, and to water the rest of these plants and stuff in these beds, and that way they can continue on thriving. And so very happy that I was able to get that done. Sometimes it takes waking up a little bit early. Sometimes it takes to get all the rest you can get so you can be energized and get back into the garden and continue on doing what you're doing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, subscribe to our channel. Y'all grow you some food now, grow you some food. And yes, y'all have yourself a wonderful and blessed day. Bye-bye.